Recording. Got it. Let's see here. All right. Good morning. How is everybody today? I am Jen Phillips with Just Ask Jen, and I want to introduce you to my friend Sandy. Sandy has been a sound healer for, I don't even know how long, but we'll find out in a minute. But I've been working with her for at least 6-9 months, and it's been really cool because through her help, I've been able to balance my emotions and I've been able to gain a lot of clarity. And I just wanted to say thank you. And today we're going to get to hear about Sandy and hear about her business and how we can learn more from her and how she can help us to grow. So welcome, Sandy.
Thank you so much, Jen. It's a pleasure to be here with you and all your community.
How long have you been in the sound healing vibrational business?
Vibrational sound practitioner, therapist, you know, they have lots of different words to put in there, but I am licensed and certified. And so the business was started July 2017. Oh. So I've literally been doing this for 5 years, sorry. My addition is kind of lacking, even though I do have a master's in math. You know, I've been doing this for a while. My first, we can say Sandy 1.0 of the business, I was Sandhya Sound Healing Alchemist. And now Sandy 2.0 of the business, it's Cascade Health. So people can understand that what I'm doing is I'm working with your well-being. It's a wellness company. So in that sense, we use vibrational sound in order to take people from stress, anxiety, and pain into being able to release, reset, and retune their energy and their own vibration to self-love. And then from there, you can get to peace, you can get to clarity, you can get to balance within your energy and pull in all those wonderful things that you attract through universe, your own menu of options in life. So, and that's the pleasure that I have of being able to work with people, bring them into balance to their own vibration, and then being able to upgrade. If they want to go higher, we can go higher by releasing negative energy in the body. And I think what people are understanding now is that, yes, there are things you can do with the mind, and you can have a thought process, and you can do all the mind set things that you want. But at some point, it has to get into the vibrational energy, the physics of your body. And this body works with science. It works with biology, chemistry, and physics to get it all done. You know, so there are a lot of things that are innate. And one of the things that we do have is if the earth has a vibration, then we definitely have a vibration. And I just wanted to say that a lot of people can read the book by Dr. David Hawkins, and it's called Power versus Force. And you get to see the hertz and the numbers of every vibration of emotion that's out there that humans face. And there's a definite vibration, hertz quality to it. So I would send people to that resource to really take a look. If they know nothing about it, they can actually start reading and start understanding vibration. And what I would do is even have people go into their youth and just look at how they were reacting to sound, how different sounds make them feel. Because I would even say for myself that a lot of the patterns that were created for me were because I didn't feel safe. So those were some of my issues. I would say that my issues stemmed from my lower chakras. So I would say I mostly had patterns and issues in my relationships. So my sacral chakra, by um, in the lower abdominal area, and then also in my root chakra. So that's where the safety, that's even with the animal brain coming in and taking over, and fear. Just, I think when I first came out in life, I came out in fear. That was the first vibration of anything as a baby that I felt. So very, sometimes once you delve into your own personal development, you start to figure these things out. And I started doing this road of personal development 25 years ago, and I'm 56. So, that just shows you, you can get into it whenever you feel like it. And we all are on different paths, but we eventually get on this path. And what set me on this path of personal development was a friend of mine was talking to me about it when I worked at one of the institutions that I worked at in my previous job or profession, you would say. I was a librarian. And so one of my dearest friends there actually opened me up to personal development. And when I started on that road, eventually I started realizing this pattern in my career. Every 5 years, I'd be looking for a new job. Every 5 years, I'd find certain people would always reappear in all these new jobs that I was at, and would be the reason why I would leave and look for another job. And then it finally got too much, because I used to work in New York, and eventually New York said, no, thank you, we don't need you anymore. So I had to start looking outside the perimeter of what I was used to. And so I now, I am currently in New Hampshire, and I came up here for that job. And soon to realize that when I got here, it was very hard for me, because I was finally in a space and place where I knew no one. I didn't know anyone with a car, so it was unlikely that I was getting driven to, and the place where I worked, I had to rely on bus service. So I have to say, in terms of, being one with the earth, I mean, it was good to take the bus, right? So things like that were changing, where I couldn't, I had new paths to look at and to adjust to, and they transformed my energy. Every bit of this was transforming me. But in the very beginnings of working there, I realized that I really put myself in a position where I was either going to have to transform and change and adapt, or just just zoom it back home, and I don't know what I was going to do, so the first year, the first 6 months was very hard. And I still remember the Friday when I, finally called in sick, because I was having a stomach ache, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I keep putting myself in these positions where, I can excel in my own personal level and really, get to where I need to be. But when it comes to these work relationships, like, people are not connecting with me in the right way, and people are not willing to believe that I have an expertise, yet I was hired to do this, but they're not willing to listen to me, right? So there was something in my energy, there was something in my vibration, but I didn't even know that at that point. All I knew was that Friday morning, I was not going into work. I called in sick, and I was just like, and after that, I was just like, what the F, right? Like, how do I get through this? And so, because there was a lot of other things also personally going on. So we're talking about a huge transformation here for me. Like, many things in my life, like, slowly but surely, all sinking somehow, right? So here we are at the point of my sinking, and I go on Google and I'm like, okay, I know that there's something about vibration. So let me look up vibrations. I did that. And then I found, I was looking for a love vibration because I just desperately like was looking somehow, some way to find some kind of love for myself in that moment. And then, so, you know, I found the D sound where it said the D and the C plus and the D minus were more like a love sound. And then I was able to find a bowl exporter importer and they had MP3s. So I will say this, Silver Sky Imports, I found them and it was just a link, but the instinct was, okay, let's go here, Silver Sky. That sounds good, you know. And when I went on that page, I found all these bowls that would ring in the tone that I needed them to. And they were described that way. So what I did is I turned on all the MP3s. I had my phone on, I put in my earplugs and I went back to bed. You know, I just was in bed and I have been having like so much lower abdomen pain. Like that's where it was really coming from. It's my sacral chakra. And then just the lower abdomen was just in a lot of pain. And so I was the whole afternoon in bed. And then I didn't really eat much that night. I just stayed in bed and then fell asleep again and didn't wake until the next morning. And when I woke up in the morning, I was still listening at because I had it on repeat and no pain. Woke up to no pain. So that's my story. That's where it starts. That's where things started to change because then, you know, when I woke up, I ate something because I was hungry, but I realized I wasn't in pain. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is something wonderful. This is a vibration that I definitely want to have in my life. And how do I do this? And so I was thinking about that and I went back in and then I went to the same webpage and I did a little more research. And so the person who owns Silver Sky Imports also brought into being the Vibrational Sound Association. So there was a class that I could take. And so in January of 2017, I took that class in Dallas. I was like, I don't care. This must have been like late in 2016, like it must have been like November, December, like I forget the dates because who even knows, who even remembers? You forget your past life after a while, right? So and I set everything up except to ask for the dates off. And so the last thing I did was to ask for that. Like I was like, I have the money for the flight, I'm going to Dallas. I have the money to book the hotel, I'm going to this hotel. I have the money to pay for the class, I'm buying everything, I'm buying the instruments so I can play during the class and not have to worry about, you know, buying it there or whatever. It's just going to be there for me, making it easy for myself. And then I asked for the week off in January.
Yeah.
So it was hilarious, but this is how the story like progresses. And that's the thing is like once you find something that really can change your energy like that, it really sets you on the path of really wanting to balance, being neutral, and really seeing your options. Because what that did for me that day was it took me out of pain because I was just in this cycle of pain, and it was pain on pain on pain in every section of my life. But the sound itself just took me out of pain, brought me into a grounding space, and then helped me neutralize my body to a single vibe of love.
Wow.
Right? And then once I could do that, then I could see what my options were. And my first option was, how do I keep doing this for myself? Because I know this is going to be the thing that's going to help me the most, because if this can tune me to love, what else could it do? where else could it take me? You know, and that was the most profound thing. So after this class, to get licensed and to get certified first, you needed to spend time with 25 people, have them go through the different VST treatments that you can do on different clients. So there you can work on the back, you can work on the front, you can work on the legs, like different parts of the body. So you can actually lay the bowls on the body. And then, but what I've done in my 2.0 version is, because once COVID came in, you couldn't really work on the body, right? So, but you just needed to work with 25 people in order to get certified. And once you did that, the certification would come through. And so then I built my business from there. So in July of 2017, Sandhya Sound Healing Alchemist came through. And then midpoint through that, I realized that one of the key ways that I could really help people was creating sound journeys around the vibrational sound, to actually take a person through meditation and show them where to send the energy with deep breathing, what they can do with deep breathing, sending the energy into the spaces and places in the body to actually release the pain, to release those knots and those spaces and places that might be stuck in energy, where that's what might be creating the pain, because the repetitive vibration that won't go away. But when you send the energy through into that space and send a different vibration in there, you can actually disconnect that old vibration and change it into a newer one. Because if it's vibrating higher, the body will take the higher vibration versus the lower one.
That's very, very interesting. Holy cow. I had no idea the story of how you got to where you are today. That is very, very cool. I've been the benefactor of Sandy's sound sessions, and I remember being at one. I was on a break at work, and I was sitting, and I don't even remember exactly what we worked on, but holy cow, I left that feeling peaceful. I was no longer agitated with, I believe we worked on a person, and I was no longer agitated with that situation. And I was able to continue throughout my day. And that relationship is, my relationships with lots of different people have changed, because I have not been so judgmental. I have not been so resentful over my judgments over them. And it's really been able to help me to see that I have a choice in who I spend my time with. I have a choice with who I give my energy to. I have a choice who I take energy from. And that really has helped with the whole learning about sound. And so I was thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking, how is it that when we go to a movie and the soundtrack is such a huge piece to a movie, because the sounds that they use evoke those feelings. And
right, because that's what they want to do, is to make you feel a certain way, bring back those emotions of fear and things of that sort, to get to that ultimate culmination in your head, that being scared, having that feeling of shock.
And so then with your sound healing, you can help people to direct the energy in a direction that they want it to go to, as opposed to allowing the external to control them and not being aware. So you help people to become aware of that.
Well, what I do is I try to put people into a safe environment before they even try it. So the idea is to already be in a safe place where you feel cocooned, where you feel like it's peaceful. You can get into your mind, because what we're going to do is we're going to take a journey and go into meditation. But I first have to get you calm enough to see that you can get into meditation, because a lot of people out there are saying, Well, I try to meditate and it just won't happen. The idea is that the actual vibrational sound starts working and settling your mind and calms your body so that, you know, it's something that you can feel into, right? And it kind of calms you down. So, and then we go and I'm speaking softly and I'm taking you into a safe space that you feel comfortable in, which can be like a field where you're just lying on the grass in a familiar place, or it can be by a waterfall. It can be, you know, any sort of space where you feel safe. And then we go even deeper. And then we actually go into the body, and then we have the experience of whatever people have said they want to work on. So what I'm doing right now to really get to a lot more people and to be able to work with a lot more people is I have the Cascade Sound community, where every month it's $49 a month, and you get 4 sound healings within the month. So we meet at a specific time on a specific day, and we do half-an-hour sessions, and we create the journey that you want to have that week. So I try to communicate with everybody and ask them what's coming up, and then try to assimilate and create a sound journey that will help them through any of the issues that anyone might be going through. So it's really trying to be specific about a particular couple of issues, but then also being very general so that the layers of it can come off. So it's not that you're going to get everything off, because your mind and your thought process also have to assimilate it. So, but you'll be able to get rid of the old energy that your body's willing to let go of, and then actually open up to this new vibration of when we take in the energy from Mother Earth. After we've let go of the negative energy, you bring back the love and support of Mother Earth into the body, and also from Source. And then you assimilate that into your heart, and that's becomes part of your love vibration. So you're actually at the end of this vibrating at a much higher tone than you were before.
So for people like me that work, and Sandy and I live in different places. She's on the East Coast, I'm in Las Vegas. So we're 3 hours apart. Her schedule is different than my schedule. So if somebody is in a different part of the world from you, how will they still benefit from, because like if they can't be live, or, you know, they're sleeping. So like, how do they benefit from that when they would like, oh, I want to try this out, but I can't be there live? What would you tell somebody like that?
So for anyone who's part of the community, you know, once you sign up, you have access to all the replays. So the replays have the energy in there. I'm actually taking you through it every single time you do it. So you can use these continuously to have that repeated thing, but the next layer of the onion is going to peel off. So every time you use a sound session, it's going to get you even deeper, and bringing you up to a higher vibration. So it's all online. So basically, if you wanted to come live, that's always good. But you have the replays there, and you have access to the replays for, you know, the whole month, for the whole time that you're going to be there. If you decide that you want to discontinue, then of course you won't have access to the replays. But I will, I'm currently working on my webpage where all of those sound recordings will be there, and eventually at some point they'll be for sale.
Oh,
so people even afterwards would be able to buy them if they wanted to. Yeah, specific ones, you know, like, and I'm not even going to mention pricing because I haven't even thought of that yet. But, you know, when it comes to that, you know, we'll work with it, you know, but these are, so there's going to be access to it, you know, and it's mostly online so that, you know, everybody can have access to it. And if they want to be live, well, then you know, we can try and adjust the time zones or whatever adjustments we need to make. If people, you know, come on and there's a better day that works for everybody. I'm all about community, so it's about me serving you. So you guys at some point, you know, if it's not working for you, then you need to speak up and speak out and let me know. And then, you know, maybe I can do 2 days where, you know, one day, one half the globe is able to attend, and the next day, the next half of the globe can attend, right? Because it's all going to be like very different because time zones are just that way. I'm currently in a class, taking a class that's given in Australia, and I have to wake up at 3 a.m. in order to be there. But because of the class and because of what I'm learning, of course, I'm going to be there. I'm going to show up, and I want that community. So I do show up. They were willing to, you know, like take me into consideration, but I was like, look, I'm just one person. So you're not going to work around me, but, you know, I will try and make it when I can, you know. So that's the way community works, is that, you know, you try to get as many people at one time into something. And then, you know, there is working one-on-one. I mean, I will say that that's at a higher cost, you know, everything. But I feel like this community is the one space, and it is the one way I can offer for people to get started right away. And it's at a price where I don't think, you know, too many people would say no to it, because it's something that's part of your healing. Like it's like a copay
Yeah, it's,
or
oh,
something.
when you started doing this and you offered this to me, I was like, oh yeah, that's easy. I can do that. And the session you did a couple months ago about money, I mean, that was amazing. I actually was listening to last week's again last night when I went to bed. And I mean, it's been a great way to recenter. Just been a really great way
Beautiful.
to recenter. And so, Sandy, I want to say thank you so much. But how do people get in touch with you? Because we now know what you do and what you cost, and you've got a community, but how do they find you? Because we want to make sure that you can be reached.
Sure. So I do have a web page where you can leave your email and your name. And it also has my phone number there, and it has the email of info@cascadehealth.com, where you can email me, and it comes into, yes. And then the actual website is www.cascadehealth.co. CO.
Okay. I'm typing it right now.
So it's not com, it's just co.
Okay. I just put it in the comments. So anybody who's watching can click there to go get there.
Yeah, so you can leave me your email, and also, you know, when you connect on the telephone number, my number will answer you back and ask you, you know, what it is you're looking for, and then we can try and connect. And I do a free discovery call. So if you wanted to, you know, talk with me, that's the one way we can actually make that connection, is through that discovery call.
Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds way awesome, Sandy. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else to add? Because the last question I have is somebody who hasn't tried sound healing before, or they're like, oh, meditation, really? That's kind of where I was 2-3 years ago. And so like, what would you recommend to somebody who's just getting started into this world, or maybe they've got a friend who is, and they're like, I'm not sure if I want to make this, move.
Well, cool. I mean, the thing is, especially if you need to really do something like that's in your time zone and in your space and place of where you are at, if you want to physically be, you know, in a good space, most of the time yoga studios are good to start with, doing yoga. And then, you know, some of your yoga teachers might even do yoga nidra, which requires sound around it. And then they also might have some sound healers available. So it's good to start there, but then, you know, if you want sound meditation, deep breathing, something different, then I think you'd come looking for me, because I like to deal one-on-one with people to help them through their issues. So someone who's just doing it for the sound is just going to give you a sound bath, and they'll just do sound. They're not really going to take you through a meditation. But what I do is, if you tell me what the issue or the pain is, or where what part of the body is really not working well in the moment, we can go in and actually release with a different vibration in there. So it depends on how specifically you want to take it. Like if you're new to it, I mean, I also do just plain sound. And that's when, even during the sound community, within the sound community, I will take those days where I give you guys just sound and different types of sound to just balance you out and not really go through a whole sound meditation journey, because we're doing a lot of work. So if we're specifically going in and doing a lot of inner work in that month, I'm going to try and find like a half hour of giving you something really simple that you can just put through your body, and you can work on yourself and do the meditation for yourself as much as you need it. So, but look in your own community first, if that's what makes you feel safer. But when you want to get really specific and really deal with some of your triggers and some of your traumas, anything to do with stress, anxiety, pain, come on, let's meet.
All right, let's get this
phone
going.
call.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So everybody go to cascadehealth.co and learn more about what Sandy is doing. And I've tagged her on this post so that you guys can learn more about her. She's got a lot of different gifts, guys. She's got a lot of tremendous knowledge when it comes to things. She does a daily reading, which is always interesting to see. I watched this morning's, and it's so funny because she goes, "Oh, somebody's on. I don't know who." And it was me. It's really very cool.
Yes, I finally realized that after the fact. Yes, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. They're always great.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. This is Just Ask Jen. And tomorrow we're going to have somebody from France who's a business owner, lady, entrepreneurial, something or another. We'll get to meet her tomorrow. And I got another lady from Switzerland on Friday. So we're going around the world, people. So looking forward to sharing more with everybody. And Sandy, I hope that maybe we can come back on when you've got your individual stuff and you've grown, and we can share some more of your goodies. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe even do a sound healing for
Oh,
you.
that would be cool too. Oh, yes, let's talk about that.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
Have a wonderful
Thank you so much.
You are so very welcome.